It's now my pleasure to introduce and welcome up to the stage the President and CEO of the Public Policy Forum, Edward Greenspon, of course, a legend in the world of journalism and a mentor to many younger journalists like myself, also a legend now in the world of public policy. Ed?
Bonsoir à tous et à toutes. It's great to see you. I think it says here it's great to see you, but I can't really see you in the... It is great to see you. Great to be in person. Wow, to see you. I'm kind of breathing a sigh of relief that you're... Well, actually, let's not breathe on each other, so forget the breathing part entirely. J'aimerais tout d'abord remercier les incroyables membres de l'équipe de FPP. Our Public Policy Forum staff, I just want to talk about them for a moment. Our meetings contain a segment called Praise and Recognition, in which team members give a shout out to colleagues for going that extra mile. And trust me, today, our first large gathering in 3 years, and with the pandemic still taunting us and with Autumn calling and saying I have COVID, it's involved a lot of going by on the call of duty. So my praise, recognition, and gratitude to Team PPF. J'aimerais aussi vous remercier, nos supporters. Vous avez resté avec nous pour qu'on puisse être encore plus pertinent. So, ladies and gentlemen, please take a look at this painting. What's supposed to be behind me, but it's actually over there. So it's by you. This is a painting I purchased on a reporting trip to Kyiv in November 1990. I had become friendly with a man named Valery Hruzin, a Ukrainian writer and former diplomat who headed up George Soros's Renaissance Foundation. And Valery used his meeting space to showcase local artists. So I circled the room and I kept being drawn back to this piece. To me, the women in the painting personified the ambiguity of a place treated by Russians as the cradle of their culture, yet a place whose inhabitants dreamed, as the many well-versed in Canada would tell me, of being masters in their own homes. That's what they would say to get my Canadianness up. I was transfixed trying to read her expression, sadness, resignation, yet perhaps a flicker of hope in the reflected image. I was back in Kyiv in August 1991 as that hope was realized. On August 24th, Ukraine ignored calls for Slav solidarity and declared its return to independence. Witnessing a nation gaining its freedom, as I did throughout Eastern Europe in those days, is as good as it gets. But Russia never went away, and now its increasingly malevolent leadership punishes Ukraine for its preference for Western values and institutions. Paradoxically, as Ukrainians were moving closer to Western ideals, trust and confidence within the liberal democracies has been under severe strain. We find ourselves in 2022 caught in an epic contest between what I will call the people of the borders and the people of the frontiers. Borders are fixed edifices of thought that favor the known over the unknown, social stability over social progress, the familiarity of the here and now over the risks of reaching for a better tomorrow. In contrast, frontiers are the hangouts of society's adventurers, those jazzed by scientific discovery, a free press, a diverse society. Frontier people are comfortable that truth can only be approached, never fully grasped, whereas residents of the border believe truth is knowable and that they know it. Now, of course, a successful society cannot be situated at the far ends of competing poles of thought. The reality is that borders cannot exist without frontiers, and frontiers cannot thrive without borders. Freedom without order is anarchy. Order without freedom is fascism. The success of liberal democracies always depends on maintaining a delicate balance between progress and stability. Everyone must feel that society's opportunities are open to them and that their voice is heard. And when this balance falls out of sync, we end up with institutions under attack by those feeling excluded, even disrespected. In one way or another, The newest entrants into the Public Policy Forum's honor roll, now 133 people strong with our inductions tonight, speak to the principles of opportunity and belonging. The Honourable John Manley struck a subtle balance, as the best public leaders do, between order and openness when 9/11 could have precipitated a fearful reaction by Canadians. Chief Terry Paul has spent his life fighting to overcome oppression through opportunity. In the midst of violent protests against Indigenous fishing rights, he reordered the equation by becoming an owner of Canada's largest seafood company and its fishing licenses. At a time when science, history's greatest engine of progress, is inexplicably under attack, Dr. Clarissa Desjardins is a serial life sciences entrepreneur, a builder of future possibilities designed to help those afflicted by disease. Director Deepa Mehta looks at the human condition from multiple camera angles in her cautionary films about the destructive power of social and political partitions and the universality of personal freedom. We will hear more about them and from them after dinner, but PPF, I want to say, is always proud to be associated with those who embody our core values of working across lines in pursuit of practical solutions to real-world challenges. Whether it's our work on identifying an energy transition that will turn targets into achievements, or whether it's laying faster and fairer broadband, or creating optimal conditions for Indigenous ownership, or preserving a common base of facts by keeping journalism solvent and countering the scourge of online disinformation and hate, PPF seeks to be the think tank about tomorrow. And that's what makes PPF different. We aren't operating in a vacuum. We aren't theorizing. We aren't constrained by ideology or partisanship. We're simply working with you and you and you on innovative solutions to the fresh challenges thrown up by technological, climate, cultural, and geopolitical change. We all know this will require us getting busy building more supply of just about everything, from more housing to more hydrogen, from carbon capture and clean electricity to early childhood education, from more ICUs to more IP, from AG to AI, from 5G to AI. We need to clear the decks of old think if we are going to build the shining future that's within our grasp. And we've done it before. Think of the 1950s, a St. Lawrence Seaway, Trans-Canada Highway, Trans-Canada Pipeline, new mines, new dams, new campuses, new suburbs, all done in the space of a decade. It takes focus, urgency, public-private partnership, and a national consensus bigger than any political party. And it is by building tomorrow with competence and compassion that liberal democracy wins at home and abroad. At PPF, we believe in our slogan, good policy, better Canada. And we appreciate the support of you, our friends and partners, as together we pursue the attainment of this better Canada. Thank you.